It's Middays. We're live from the Oxford Conference Center for the University of Mississippi School of Business Banking Symposium. This coverage is brought to you in part by the Citizens Bank, offering commercial and consumer checking accounts and CDs at competitive rates. And we welcome to the program now George Gammons, Northwest Regional President, the Citizens Bank. George, good to see you again.
Great to see you as well, Gerard. Always good to be back here in Oxford. Doesn't seem like a year's gone by since we did this.
Yeah.
But great place to be this time of year in the fall.
We talked to Dr. Cyree earlier on in the program. He kicked us off of the broadcast today, and he was discussing the slate of speakers and the subject matter they're covering. Sounded quite interesting. The banking industry has changed a lot. It's way more dynamic, and it's subject to a lot of change on a daily basis, almost an hourly basis. So it's not the old kind of status quo, boring industry it was 30, 40 years ago. It's something now.
It is. We've got a lot of technology being leveraged to gain efficiencies in the banking industry. Of course, we're going through a unique cycle right now with the inverted yield curve on interest rates, and liquidity is a big issue for the banking industry right now. Deposits in particular. Every bank you talk to, every banker in the room today talking about deposits and the need to grow those to fund future loans and so forth. You see a lot of runoff to the brokerage houses. I think to the tune of about $1.5 trillion over the last year. So, like you said, a lot of change going on. They need to be innovative and adaptive to be successful.
I hadn't thought about that. So, but that does make a lot of sense. You've maybe seen some liquid assets just being siphoned off by the brokerage houses and wealth managers, which just means that's less liquidity and less in the way of deposits and on your balance sheets from your depositors, and that's just less money you got to loan and invest.
That's correct. That's correct. Some specifics with our bank, the Citizens Bank of Philadelphia. The last year, we brought in a new president who I think you interviewed earlier today, Stacey Brantley, and with that, we've brought in some new initiatives to the bank to really improve the way we operate. We've decentralized some of our loan processes to be quicker, more responsive to our customers, more local decision making, which is always good. Local folks have their finger on the pulse and know how to adapt, and everything goes along with that. So it's been a great year so far. A lot of headwinds mentioned on the national front with inflation. Just seems to be eating everybody's paycheck, and of course, the higher interest rates, if you're borrowing money, first-time home buyers, especially these younger folks, very difficult to get in the game. A lot of folks extending the renting period and so forth. But on the deposit side, on the flip side, like some of the folks we know have good baby boomers with cash balances. It's really a good thing for them to earn these higher balances after years of earning less than 1% on a deposit accounts. So we've got a mixed bag of things we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, full complement, and that's, I guess, the positive aspect of the industry is there's been really an expansion of the spectrum of services and products that you guys can offer through the years. That's grown quite a bit.
Yeah, back to the technology front, the ITMs, interactive teller machines, are a new way where you can have one teller in a location to service multiple branches or locations. Also, the remote deposit capture. You're able to deposit your check from your telephone now. On an iPhone, take a picture, send it in, same day credit versus having to go wait in line in the bank. So that's another recent innovative feature that a lot of banks are going to now, and the list goes on. Now we've got an AI part of the symposium here this afternoon to address that specific issue. I'm sure I'll learn a few new things with that as well, but it's an ever evolving and changing field for sure.
No doubt about it, and the industry is investing heavily in AI. I mean, and typically the community banks kind of follow suit with what the big guys are doing, and we've seen Jamie Dimon talk about that quite a bit with J.P. Morgan, and they're making massive investments in that arena, and that's going to, I think, improve everything for everybody.
Well, it's good for the consumer. Anytime you can cut down on inefficiencies, and like we said, really no need to go in the bank unless you're depositing cash. If you're depositing checks or getting money out or transferring money, that can all be done at fingertips now with technologies.
No substitute for the personal touch, and I know you guys really pride yourself on that, do a great job there, and certainly everybody I've met are the type of people you'd like to do business with.
Sure. The local decision-making and local processing, that's really our niche and where we find where our bank is situated. You mentioned Jamie Dimon and some of the bigger banks out there versus the smaller community banks. We're sort of in the middle. We really feel like we can leverage the technologies and the products of the big banks, but yet provide that local decision-making and service.
And that's a good model for the state of Mississippi, because that's
absolutely
what we consist of, lots of small and mid-sized communities, but they have those same needs as the big guys do.
Yep.
George, appreciate you coming on. Thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure.
Good to see you, George.
All right.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.